Hi, General Hospital fans, it's Radhika's storyline from Radhika, and we're going to talk about every twisted turn General Hospital has in store for the week ahead. But first, please hit subscribe if you're not already following us. Okay, so this week on General Hospital, we saw one shocker after another hit the canvas, and honestly, the biggest loose end of them all was Drew Kane coming back from the dead like the cockroach he apparently is, because no matter how many people have tried to put him down, the man keeps crawling out of his own grave. I mean, we have had Willow shoot him, we have had Na drown him, we have had Jack Brennan try to hide the whole thing, and yet here he is, walking into Alexis Davis's living room, asking Molly, or Alexis whether that's a threat, and then dropping the bomb that he wants Scout back. Alexis's heart is crushed, Molly is rattled, and Scout walks in and lights up like a Christmas tree because Daddy is awake and talking about taking her home. Which is awful. Which is just diabolical, honestly, because Alexis has been raising that little girl through what feels like 1,000 crises, and now Drew, the man who had her kept from him, who essentially lost his family by his own gross misbehavior, thinks he can just stroll back in and resume custody like nothing happened.
No, sir.
Not on Alexis's watch, and I, for one, cannot wait to see Alexis actually fight for real this time. Drew has been a walking disaster for so long, and the idea that he now gets to play the sympathetic recovered patient card is just tone-deaf on every level. Alexis is rattled, and rightly so. She's been through it. Drew asking, "Is that a threat?" is exactly the kind of confrontation opener Drew does best, low-key menacing, all while smiling like he won the lottery. And, of course, Molly is standing right there, caught in the middle of whatever Alexis and Drew are about to detonate, and Molly's face has got to be priceless because she didn't sign up for this parental custody cage match. She signed up to, exist in peace. Honestly, the whole visit is a shocker wrapped in another shocker. Drew's survival wasn't supposed to be a thing. He's supposed to be finished. Na shot him, Willow shot him, Jack covered for all of it, and yet here he is, fishing for sympathy at Alexis's door, acting like the universe owes him a second chance. No, Drew. No second chance from Alexis. Now, of course, Alexis is also dropping a pretense with Willow this week, which means Alexis, after all this time, is finally going to let Willow know that she knows Willow is the one who shot Drew. And honestly, I've been waiting for this confrontation forever. Dawning on Willow that Alexis knows the truth is going to be a panic moment for Willow because Willow's whole life is built on lying and spinning her way through Port Charles. Alexis telling Willow she knows might not legally do anything because, as I keep saying, Willow cannot be prosecuted for that crime. Drew and Willow are splitting up, and Drew, rake that he is, has just become Alexis's problem to handle. Which is unfair, but it's also a brilliant bit of writing because Willow has skated free for too long, and even if the courts can't touch her, Alexis's righteous anger can. So, I'm betting Alexis tells Willow to her face this week. I am betting Alexis enjoys it. And I'm betting Willow's reaction is going to be the kind of panic-stricken scramble where she tries a million excuses at once, and none of them sound good. Honestly, if Alexis could barely contain herself when she was just guessing, imagine how Alexis is going to feel when she's now confirmed, when Drew himself is knocking at her door telling her everything. The whole Alexis Willow-Drew Scout Square is on fire right now. And speaking of fire, Kai and Trina were absolutely jumping to conclusions this week, like the two of them could not help themselves. They think Willow pushed Drew into the lake. Kai knew that Drew was starting to recover, and Kai, smart kid, knew Drew did not want Willow to know that he was coming back. So Kai asked Trina, why wouldn't Drew go straight to the police? And that is such a great character moment because Kai and Trina both know the answer, and it's the same answer we've all been screaming at the screen for months. She and Drew are splitting up. He cannot prosecute her. They don't know anything else that she's done to him face to face. Both of them know that drawing Willow into a courtroom would expose everything, and then they'd have to admit what they all did. So Drew doesn't want to prosecute. Drew wants to play the long game. And that's much worse for Willow than a courtroom showdown, honestly, because Drew is a businessman, and businessmen who are angry don't go to court, they go to war. Kai asking Trina that question was such a nice moment of shared panic and shared reasoning. Those two kids are smart. They are way smarter than most of the adults in this town. And the fact that they've put the puzzle together means at some point, somebody is going to tell on the rest of them. It may not be today, but it is coming. And speaking of puzzles, at the Quartermain mansion, the whole family was stunned this week when Gio came in and told them Drew was drowning and that Gio himself saved Drew's life, and somehow Drew is now fully recovered. Honestly, the timing on this is wild because we have been waiting to see Gio take center stage in a real way for a while, and now he's a hero. Gio jumped in, dragged Drew out, and brought him back. But here's the diabolical part. Gio almost certainly doesn't know what kind of man he just rescued. Gio doesn't know Drew is a pandemic-level villain who's been trying to destroy the Quartermain Empire for what feels like eons. Gio probably thinks he did a good deed. Gio probably thinks Drew will be grateful. And meanwhile, Tracy is going berserk at the news that Drew is on her property, that Drew is somehow being allowed into her house to visit Scout, that everything Tracy has been fighting against in terms of the custody war is now happening in her own front yard. And Tracy said something pretty close to Drew on this property not happening. And honestly, that line of dialogue from Tracy felt so earned. Tracy is the matriarch. Tracy knows Drew's history. Tracy is not about to host Drew Kane at the Q mansion like he's family. Scout had convinced Tracy to let Drew come by and watch her swim practice. Tracy gave in. Tracy softened. And now Tracy is going to regret it, because Drew walking and talking is a different beast entirely than Drew lying in a hospital bed. Standing Drew is dangerous Drew. Walking Drew is the kind of Drew that wants things back. And Tracy's worst nightmare is about to come true. Ned and Olivia were staying with Danny at the Q mansion, by the way, and honestly that whole domestic scene felt weird. Danny is in the middle of so much chaos. Danny and Charlotte took a speedboat out for a joyride, which has Tracy ranting, and by the end of the week, Brooklyn came to Danny's defense in some way that felt like a setup for something bigger. I'm hoping Brooklyn's defense of Danny is going to be about Drew, because if Drew is going to be anywhere near Danny, Brooklyn should be worried. If Drew is going to keep pursuing all the Quartermain heirs for whatever revenge plot is brewing in his head, Brooklyn should be extremely on alert. We will see. Now, over at Michael's place, oh my gosh, Michael threw his power around this week, and Willow clapped back. He was trying something with Willow, probably trying to leverage Drew's money or Drew's corporate position or something along those lines, and Willow just told him she really likes her chances. Which is so on brand for Willow. Willow barely ever backs down. Willow has been handed lemons and turned them into lemon drops on every occasion. So even with Michael breathing down her neck, Willow's mouthing off. And that is exactly what gets Justine going this week, because Justine is back, and Justine is losing patience with Willow still being in Michael's life. And now that Willow is suddenly single, having split from Drew, Justine has got to be even more antsy about what Willow might do next. Because a single Willow with nothing to lose is a much more dangerous Willow than a Willow who is comfortably coupled up with Drew. Justine is going rogue this week. Justine is going to do something about the Willow situation, and it could cost her Michael if she's not careful. So this is one of those situations where I want to scream at the TV, Justine, don't do it, but I also kind of want Justine to do it, because Willow has needed a karmic comeuppance for years. Justine going rogue sounds great on paper, but if it blows up Michael and Justine's relationship, that is going to be a pity moment for sure. Over at General Hospital, Felicia was standing with Liz, and the two of them were absolutely shocked. They were asking each other, in pure Felicia and Liz fashion, how is this possible? So Drew is up at General Hospital, presumably to be checked out, although honestly he seems fine, and I doubt he's going to let them poke and prod him too much. Drew is the kind of guy who hates being in any position where he is not in control, and being on a hospital gurney with doctors hovering is the opposite of control. So, I'm betting Drew stays just long enough to get a clean bill of health, then hightails it out of there before anyone can ask too many questions. And honestly, do you think the doctors are going to let Drew just walk out? Probably not. Probably Drew is going to have to do something dramatic to escape the hospital, which is going to be entertaining on its own. Felicia and Liz talking about how this is possible felt like such a Jen Haas moment. Two veteran soap women, two friends who have seen all sorts of things, and even they are baffled. That's a tell. That's the show telling you, hey, this Drew recovery is really weird, even for this show. Jack Brennan was also on screen this week, telling Nah if anyone's to blame, it's him. And I'm sure they are talking about Drew. So we're going to find out why Jack blames himself. Probably because Jack has been running WSB cover-ups, and he feels responsible for Drew now being alive. Or maybe Jack blames himself because he didn't see some threat coming, or he didn't act fast enough, or he made the call that brought Drew to Nah's lake. Nah knows that Jack is a friend, and they say a friend will help you move, but a real friend will help you move a body. And at this point, Nah should know Jack is definitely a real friend. That whole Brennan and Nah bro bonding conversation was, honestly, such a good little moment. Those two are thick as thieves. They have been through hell and back together, and the writers are leaning into that brotherhood beautifully. Jack blaming himself is a great character beat because Jack, in his mind, has been the responsible one, the cool head, the one calling the shots, and now the cover-up is unraveling in real time because Drew is up and walking. So Jack's entire real-life WSB professional facade is cracking, and Nah is the one friend who knows. I suspect we will see Jack come totally unglued before August is out. I suspect Jack will do something rash or something sacrificial, and I suspect Nah is going to have to clean up the mess. Now over to Thursday, July 30th. Troy Uhl made his debut as shady businessman Hudson, and I am telling you, the moment Troy Uhl stepped on screen, I was already buying what they were selling. Hudson is a shady businessman. He is almost certainly linked to Sidwell. We will know more soon, but the air of I am up to no good was fully intact in his very first scene. He has that sneaky energy. He has that I am doing things in back rooms that you should not know about energy. And the fact that they are introducing him right as Sidwell's trial is approaching tells me he is going to be the kind of character who loosens Sidwell's hold on Port Charles, or makes things worse for Sidwell. Either way, Hudson is going to be a player. Same day, Kelly Kruger made her debut as the recast Serena Baldwin. Lucy Coe's surrogate daughter is back. She is back in town to help fight for power at Deception, which means she is going to walk into Lucy Coe's boardroom and start making demands. She is going to try to wrestle Deception away from whoever currently has the reins, and honestly, Lucy has had this coming. Lucy has been making shady deception moves for ages, and Serena showing up feels like the universe sending a corrective. Ethan was also shocked on Thursday, and I am guessing part of that shock is about Serena being back. If Serena is the blast from his past that he was supposed to see before leaving Port Charles, then this is going to be huge. Ethan was already planning to leave after seeing a face from the past. They recast him. The actor, Nathan Dean, is gone. The new Ethan is in. And now suddenly the face from the past is real, and she is Serena Baldwin, and she is on screen this week, which feels like a writing pivot. I am dying to know what Ethan's deal is with Serena. Are they ex-lovers? Are they estranged family? Are they co-conspirators? The mystery is everything. Ethan's shock could also be about Hudson, because Ethan has done sketchy things in his past, and he might have crossed paths with Hudson at some point, or know who Hudson is in the bad business sense, and boom, his whole I'm leaving town fresh start plan gets blown up. Tracy was also blindsided on Thursday, and this might be the moment Serena shows up at Deception while standing beside Lucy, or it could be Drew confronting Tracy about something, a custody thing, a financial thing, an emotional thing. Drew is hoping his ordeal would soften her heart, and he should think again. Tracy is not softening. Tracy is unreliable when it comes to softness. Tracy has diamond hard edges. Somebody made Dr. Tristan Roberts annoyed this week, and he drew a line. I'm guessing that somebody is Britt. The chemistry between Tristan and Britt has been simmering for ages, and the writers clearly want to push them into a love interest arc, but Jason just told Britt that he loves her. So on the one hand, Jason and Britt are still together. On the other hand, every sign from various sources point to a split between them, and of course Carly is going to push for that. So Tristan being annoyed with Britt feels like a setup. It feels like Britt keeps flirting, or Britt keeps using Tristan, or Tristan is finally putting his foot down and saying no more. If it's a long-term love interest arc with Tristan and Britt, then Jason's confession about loving Britt is going to look like the worst timing Jason has ever had. I mean, oh my gosh. Imagine Jason tells Britt he loves her, and then Britt starts pulling away. That would be devastating for Jason. And Carly pushing for the split is going to be one of the most annoying things Carly has done, honestly, but also on brand, because Carly has never been able to see a happy couple without plotting how to wedge herself in. So Tristan drawing a line, I think, is the show planting the seeds. The seeds are planted. Let them grow. Let's go. Anna and Jason reunited on Thursday, and let me tell you, that was such a nice scene to watch. They have been friends for ages. They went through that Sidwell ordeal together. They survived the near-death experience in Africa. They've each been tormented by Column and WSB. So they have got years of shared trauma. They have got years of friendship. And the kind of quiet, supportive bonding they did this week felt earned. I loved that. The writers gave Anna and Jason some well-deserved quiet time to just sit with each other and process. And honestly, after weeks of watching Anna mentally unravel because of Peter haunting her and Jason dealing with his own head injury recovery and his complicated romantic life, a quiet coffee between two trauma-bonded veterans felt like a breath of fresh air. Anna and Jason deserve that breathing room. I am hoping we see them lean on each other more in August.